It's 0 hour! The evil Jacques Lachites has a twisted plot to create counterfeit money, and to make the paper he's ravaging the wooded homeland of Zero, the Kamikaze Squirrel. Can you save the forest and turn Jacques into pulp? Master Zero's full arsenal of ninja techniques and weapons. You'll need them at later levels. Hop a jet ski, speedboat, and jetpack as you fly into battle at hyper speeds. Swoop, spin, and dive through 15 levels. 16 megs make Zero's flying squirrel attack more fierce than ever. Get set to zero in on destruction, because this squirrel, he takes no prisoners. And this is Zero, the Kamikaze Squirrel, from Iguana Entertainment, published by Sunsoft, not Acclaim, which was weird, released in 1994. It's part of the Aero the Acrobat franchise for whatever reason. It's a spin-off. It was originally released for the Genesis, first in October, and the Super NES, and then there was a November release of Aero the Acrobat 2. The main star is Zero, Aero's rival from previous games. A remake for the GBA was planned in 2003, but it was cancelled, probably for the best. During the events of Aero the Acrobat 2, Zero sees a telegram from his old girlfriend Amy telling him that the evil lumberjack Jacques Lachites is destroying their homeland, Stony Forest, to produce counterfeit money, and has also captured her father. Ignoring Edgar Hector's protest, Zero decides to put a stop to it. And that's where we find ourselves. Somebody should have told Jacques that, I'm assuming this happens in America, that American money isn't paper, and Canadian money is plastic anymore, I think. Anyway, while David Stiller was drawing and designing Aero, his son Justin introduced a character who went up to the same level as Aero and put his thoughts on paper. Using the traits and sketches, it took a turn to the concept character Zero into a digitized sprite. Siller, submitted his proposal to Sunsoft and they approved it. The plot was based on the character animation. Some of the boss sprites were rendered with 3D Studio. The audio was based on a number of traditional Japanese melodies and sound incorporated to a rock and roll soundtrack. And a number of ideas from the original concept were left out. Of course, the game was released and finished by the fall and showcased at the 1994 Summer Consumer Electronics Show in Chicago. The Genesis version got a 8.2 from the EGM folks, praising innovative techniques, especially his dive and swoop moves and colorful graphics, which one of the reviewers still said surpasses Genesis' theoretical color limits. Captain Squidio in GamePro, in contrast, commented about most of the moves are fun, the dive and swoop are too difficult to control. He shared EGM's approval for the game's graphics, but concluded that difficult controls make this martial arts squirrel less than an instant superstar. He had similar remarks of the SNES version, which he described as identical, but this time concluded that Zero to be an overall good game, despite its drawbacks. And I think I could sit with that. I didn't like the control of this game. I mean, it is what it is. You know, if you're looking at, take all these other kind of mascot kind of games that never really took off, like Zero, we had Oscar, we had Mr. Nuts, we had Aero. This lives in that universe. None of those games were necessarily bad, but I can't say that none of them are necessarily great. And that's kind of where I feel about Zero. It's an interesting idea. It works, but does it work well?